Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to English in Fluency. I am your host, Alex, and I am so incredibly happy to have you here with me today. Today we are going to talk about something that might change your life, and I do not say that lightly. Have you ever felt like you are working so hard at your English, studying for hours on the weekend, memorizing lists of vocabulary, and buying expensive books, but you still feel stuck? Do you feel like your brain just freezes when you try to speak? You are not alone. In fact, most learners feel this way. The problem is not you. The problem is not your intelligence or your talent. The problem is usually your method. We often think that to achieve a big goal, like becoming fluent in English, we need to make huge, massive changes. We think we need to move to an English-speaking country or study for 3 hours every single night. But the truth is much quieter, much simpler, and much more powerful. The secret lies in small habits. It lies in doing a little bit, every single day, until your brain changes physically. Today, we are going to train your English brain using the power of small habits, and we are going to do it through a story and through practice. So, please, get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's begin this journey together. Let's start with a story about a man named Leo. I want you to listen to Leo's story carefully, because I think you might see a little bit of yourself in him. Leo was a graphic designer who lived in a busy city. He was very good at his job. He could design beautiful websites and logos, and his clients loved his work. But Leo had a secret frustration. He felt like his career was hitting a glass ceiling because his English was not good enough. He wanted to work for international clients, and he wanted to attend global conferences. But every time he thought about speaking English, his stomach would turn into knots. He felt fear. Leo had tried to learn English many times before. Every January, he would make a New Year's resolution. He would tell himself that this is the year he would become fluent. He would sign up for an expensive online course and promise himself that he would study for 2 hours every night after work. For the first week, Leo was perfect. On Monday, he studied for 2 hours. On Tuesday, he studied for 2 hours. He felt proud and motivated. But then, Wednesday came. On Wednesday, he had a very long meeting at work, and he came home exhausted. His brain felt like mush. He looked at his English textbook, and he just could not do it. He told himself that he would take a break and study for 4 hours on Thursday to make up for it. But when Thursday came, his friend invited him out for dinner, and he missed his study session again. By Friday, Leo felt guilty. He felt like he had failed. He told himself that he was just not good at languages, and he gave up. This cycle happened every single year. Leo thought that the only way to succeed was to suffer and work extremely hard in big bursts. He did not understand that consistency is far more important than intensity. One day, Leo was at a coffee shop waiting for his order. He saw an old friend named Maya. He had not seen Maya since university. Maya used to be very shy, and her English was actually worse than Leo's back in school. But when Maya answered her phone in the coffee shop, Leo was shocked. She was speaking English. And she was not just speaking it. She was speaking it fluently, calmly, and with confidence. She was laughing and making jokes in English. Leo waited for her to finish her call and then walked over to her. He asked her how she did it. He asked her if she had moved to London or New York. Maya laughed and shook her head. She told Leo that she had never lived abroad. She said that she simply changed her daily routine. She told Leo that she stopped trying to study for 2 hours a day because it was impossible with her job. Instead, she decided to make English a part of her life for just 15 minutes, 4 times a day. Leo was confused. He asked how 15 minutes could make a difference. Maya explained the concept of dead time. Dead time is the time in your day when your body is busy, but your brain is free. For example, when you are washing the dishes, your hands are working, but your brain is just thinking about worries or nothing at all. When you are commuting to work on the bus or train, you are just sitting there. When you are waiting in line at the grocery store, you are just waiting. Maya told Leo that she started listening to English podcasts during all these moments. She listened while she brushed her teeth. She listened while she walked to the subway. She listened while she cooked dinner. She did not sit down with a pen and paper. She just listened. And slowly, without realizing it, her brain started to absorb the sounds, the rhythm, and the vocabulary of English. It was not stressful. It was just a small habit. This idea of small habits is what we call the compound effect. Imagine you have an airplane taking off from Los Angeles. If the pilot changes the direction of the plane by just 3 degrees, it looks like a tiny change. You would not even notice it. But after flying for thousands of miles, that tiny 3-degree change means the airplane will land in Washington, D.C. instead of New York City. A very small change in direction leads to a completely different destination over time. This is exactly how language learning works. You do not need to change your whole life today. You just need to shift your direction by 3 degrees. You need to start doing small things that you can actually stick to for the long term. Now, let us bring this back to you. I want you to think about your day. Where is your dead time? Maybe it is in the morning when you are making coffee. Maybe it is when you are folding laundry. I want you to make a promise to yourself right now. You are going to fill that time with English. But simply listening is not enough if you want to speak. You also need to train your muscles. Speaking is a physical act. It involves your tongue, your lips, your jaw, and your throat. If you never move these muscles, they will remain weak. So, we are going to practice a technique right now called shadowing. This is what Maya taught Leo to do, and it is what transformed his English. Shadowing means you listen to a sentence and then you repeat it immediately, trying to copy the exact sound, speed, and emotion of the speaker. Let us try this together. I am going to say a sentence about our story, and I want you to repeat it after me. Do not worry about being perfect. Just try to match my voice. Here is the first sentence. Listen carefully. Small habits are more powerful than big goals. Now you try it. Say it out loud. Small habits are more powerful than big goals. Very good. Let's try it again, but this time I want you to focus on the rhythm. Listen to how I stress the word powerful. Small habits are more powerful than big goals. Go ahead, say it. Excellent. You are training your brain to notice the music of the language, not just the grammar rules. Let's go back to Leo. He decided to trust Maya's advice. He stopped trying to study for 2 hours a night. Instead, he downloaded a podcast app on his phone. The next morning, while he was shaving and brushing his teeth, he played an English episode. He did not understand every word, but he just let the sounds wash over him. On his way to work, he sat on the bus and listened for 20 minutes. At lunch, He watched a 5-minute video in English about graphic design, a topic he already loved. And in the evening, while he was washing the dishes, he listened again. At the end of the first day, Leo realized he had consumed almost 1 hour of English. But he did not feel tired. He did not feel like he had studied. It just felt like part of his day. A week went by, and Leo continued this routine. He did not miss a single day because the habits were so small and easy. He did not have to find extra time. He just used the time he already had. After a month, something magical started to happen. One day, he was writing an email to a client, and a phrase just popped into his head. It was a phrase he had heard on a podcast. He did not have to translate it from his native language. It just appeared. He wrote it down. "I look forward to hearing from you." He realized that his brain was starting to think in English. This is the goal. When you flood your brain with English through listening every day, your brain starts to recognize patterns. It stops treating English like a math problem to be solved and starts treating it like a song to be sung. This process is called neuroplasticity. Your brain is like a forest. If you walk through a forest on a new path, the grass is tall and it is hard to walk. This is like learning a new word for the first time. It is difficult. But if you walk on that same path every single day, the grass gets beaten down. The path becomes clear and easy to walk on. Eventually, it becomes a highway. By listening to English every day, even for just small moments, you are walking on that path in your brain. You are making the connection stronger and faster. If you only study once a week, the grass grows back. The path disappears. That is why consistency is the key. It is better to listen for 10 minutes every day than for 5 hours once a week. Let's do another practice session to strengthen this path in your brain. I want to talk about the feeling of confidence. Many people think confidence comes first, and then you speak. But actually, action comes first, and then confidence follows. You get confidence by doing the thing you are afraid of. Let's practice a sentence about this. Listen to me. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. Now it is your turn. Repeat after me loudly. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. Great job! Now, let's make it a bit longer and more complex. Listen carefully. If I wait until I am perfect, I will wait forever. Now you say it. If I wait until I am perfect, I will wait forever. This is a very important mindset. You must be willing to make mistakes. You must be willing to sound a little bit foolish. That is how you learn. Leo learned this lesson too. After 3 months of his new listening habit, his company had a meeting with a potential client from Canada. Usually, Leo would sit in the back and stay quiet. But this time, he felt different. He had been listening to English voices in his ears for 3 months. The sounds were familiar. When the client asked a question about the design timeline, Leo didn't freeze. His brain recognized the question immediately. Before he could stop himself, he spoke up. He said, "Actually, we can finish the first draft by next Tuesday." His heart was beating fast, but the words came out clear. The client looked at him, smiled, and said, "That sounds perfect. Thank you." Leo sat back in his chair, feeling a rush of excitement. He had done it. He hadn't used complex grammar or a big speech. He had just communicated. And it happened because he had prepared his brain every single day with small habits. So, how can you build your own system? You need to identify your triggers. A trigger is something that happens every day that reminds you to do your habit. For Leo, the trigger was washing dishes. When he saw the dirty plates, that was his signal to put on his headphones. You need to find your triggers. Maybe your trigger is putting on your shoes. As soon as you put on your shoes to leave the house, you put in your earphones. Maybe your trigger is getting into bed. As soon as your head hits the pillow, you read one page of an English book. Keep it small. Make it so easy that you cannot say no. If you tell yourself you will read 30 pages, you will find an excuse. If you tell yourself you will read one page, you will do it. And usually, once you start, you will read more than one page. The hardest part is just starting. There is another important part of this journey, and that is kindness. You must be kind to yourself. There will be days when you miss your habit. There will be days when you are sick, or sad, or just too busy. That is okay. If you miss one day, do not beat yourself up. Do not quit. Just get back on track the next day. The rule is, never miss 2 days in a row. If you miss one day, it is an accident. If you miss 2 days, it is the start of a new, bad habit. So, if you skip your listening practice on Tuesday, make sure you do it on Wednesday. Leo had days where he forgot, but he didn't let it stop him. He just started again the next morning. He realized that fluency is a marathon, not a sprint. It is a long road, and the only way to finish is to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Let's talk about the content you should consume. Leo liked design, so he listened to design podcasts. This is crucial. Do not listen to boring grammar lessons if you hate them. Listen to things that interest you. If you love cooking, watch cooking shows in English. If you love football, listen to sports commentary. If you love history, listen to history audiobooks. When you are interested in the topic, your brain wakes up. You want to understand the message, so you try harder to understand the language. This is called comprehensible input. You need to listen to English that is just a little bit above your current level. If it is too easy, you will not learn. If it is too hard, you will get frustrated. You want to find that sweet spot where you understand about 70 or 80% of what is being said. This allows you to guess the meaning of the new words from the context. As Leo continued his journey, he discovered something else. He started talking to himself. Since he lived alone, he began narrating his life in English. When he was making a sandwich, he would say out loud, "I am taking the bread out of the bag. Now I am putting butter on the bread." It sounded silly, but it was incredibly effective. He was connecting his physical actions with English words. This helped him stop translating in his head. When he saw bread, his brain thought, bread, not the word in his native language. I want you to try this today. Look around the room you are in right now. Pick 3 objects. Name them in English. Now, make a simple sentence about each one. For example, if you see a lamp, say, "The lamp is bright." If you see a chair, say, "The chair is comfortable." This is active practice. You are producing language, not just consuming it. Let's do a little more shadowing practice to reinforce our positive mindset. I want you to close your eyes for a moment if you can. Imagine yourself speaking English fluently. Imagine yourself laughing with friends, ordering food in a restaurant, and giving a presentation without fear. Hold that image in your mind. Now, open your eyes and repeat these affirmations after me. I am becoming better every single day. Say it. I am becoming better every single day. Good. Next one. My voice is strong and clear. Repeat it. My voice is strong and clear. And the last one. I enjoy the process of learning. Say it with a smile. I enjoy the process of learning. Remember, your attitude determines your altitude. If you enjoy the process, you will do it more. If you hate it, you will stop. Leo's story did not end with that one meeting. Over the next year, his English continued to improve. He started watching movies without subtitles. At first, he missed a lot of jokes, but eventually, he started to understand the nuance and the humor. He even applied for a promotion that required bilingual skills. In the interview, he was nervous, but he remembered his training. He remembered that he had listened to hundreds of hours of English. He knew he could do it. And he did. He got the job. His life changed, not because of a magic pill, and not because he moved to another country. His life changed because of the 15 minutes he spent listening while washing dishes. His life changed because of the small habits he built every day. You have the same potential as Leo. You have the same brain. You have the same 24 hours in a day. The only difference is the habits you choose to build. Today is a new beginning. You do not need to wait for January 1st. You can start right now, as soon as this video ends. In fact, you are already doing it. You are listening to English right now. You are training your brain right now. You should be proud of yourself for being here. You have taken the first step. The key now is to take the second step tomorrow, and the third step the day after that. I want to give you a specific challenge for this week. I call it the 5-minute challenge. For the next 7 days, I want you to find just 5 minutes of dead time in your day. Just 5 minutes. It could be while you are waiting for the kettle to boil, or while you are stretching in the morning. During these 5 minutes, listen to something in English. It can be this channel, it can be a song, it can be news, anything. Do this for 7 days in a row. Take a calendar and mark an X on every day you complete the challenge. When you see those X's lined up, you will feel a sense of accomplishment. You will see that you are capable of consistency. And once you do 5 minutes, you will likely find that you want to do 10, and then 20. But start with 5. Let's address a common problem that might come up. Sometimes you will listen, and you will feel like you don't understand anything. You might feel like the speakers are talking too fast. This is normal. When this happens, do not turn it off. Instead, try to relax. Do not try to catch every single word. Just try to catch the main idea. Listen for the key words. If you understand dog and park and run, you can guess the story is about a dog running in the park. Be a detective. Use the clues you have. Over time, your brain will get faster at processing the sounds. It is like a muscle that is getting stronger. At the gym, you don't start by lifting the heaviest weight. You start light and build up. Listening is the same. Be patient with yourself. Another technique that helped Leo was keeping a success journal. It was just a small notebook. Every night, he wrote down one thing he did in English that day. It could be, I listened to a podcast for 10 minutes, or I learned the word resilient. On days when he felt discouraged, he would look back at his journal. He would see weeks and months of small victories. This reminded him that he was moving forward, even when it felt like he was standing still. Progress is often invisible in the short term. You don't see your hair growing every day, but after a month, you need a haircut. Language learning is exactly the same. You don't feel fluent today, but all this input is growing your ability silently. But starting is only the first step. We need to talk about what happens next. You see, starting a habit is actually the easy part. The hard part is keeping that habit going when the excitement fades away. Everyone feels motivated on day 1. Everyone feels excited on day 2. But what happens on day 20? What happens on day 50? This is what we call the dip, or the intermediate plateau. It is that feeling where you are working hard, but you don't feel like you are improving anymore. It is dangerous because this is the moment where most people quit. We need to learn how to survive the dip and how to turn your environment into an English classroom so you can't fail. Let's go back to Leo. Remember how excited he was after his meeting with the Canadian client? He felt like he was on top of the world. For the next 2 months, he kept up his habits. He listened to podcasts while washing dishes, and he shadowed sentences while walking to work. But then winter came. The weather got cold and dark. Work got very stressful. And honestly, Leo started to get a little bored. Listening to English felt less like a fun new adventure and more like a chore. One Tuesday, he came home, looked at the pile of dirty dishes, and instead of putting on his headphones, he just turned on the TV in his native language. He told himself he just needed to relax. The next day, he did the same thing. Slowly, the silence crept back in. The English voices in his head started to fade. This is a critical moment. When the novelty wears off, boredom sets in. But I want to tell you a secret. Boredom is not a sign that you should stop. Boredom is a sign that the habit is becoming normal. And normal is exactly what we want. We want English to be as normal as brushing your teeth. You don't jump for joy when you brush your teeth, but you do it anyway. Leo realized he was slipping, so he decided to meet his friend Maya again. He told her, "Maya, I am bored. I feel like I am saying the same things over and over again. I feel stuck." Maya smiled at him and said, "Leo, you are not stuck. You are just resting on a plateau. To get to the next level, you don't need to work harder. You need to change your environment." Maya introduced Leo to the concept of environmental design. This means changing your physical world so that English is everywhere. You see, willpower is like a battery. In the morning, your battery is full. But after a long day of making decisions at work, dealing with traffic, and managing stress, your battery is empty. If you rely only on willpower to study English, you will fail in the evening. So, you need to design your life so you don't need willpower. You need to make English the default option. Maya gave Leo a challenge. She told him to take out his phone. "Change your phone language to English," she said. Leo hesitated. He was afraid he wouldn't understand the menus. He was afraid he would delete something important by mistake. But he took a deep breath and changed the settings. Suddenly, his phone was in English. Settings became settings, which was easy. But contacts became contacts, and calendar became calendar. It seemed small. But then a notification popped up. It said, "Battery low." Every time he looked at his screen, which was 50 times a day, his brain saw English words. He didn't have to study them. They were just there. This is passive exposure. It forces your brain to accept English as a tool for life, not just a subject in school. I want you to consider this right now. Are you brave enough to change your phone language? It is uncomfortable for the first 2 days, but after a week, you won't even notice it. And you will learn words like snooze, dismiss, update, and remind without ever opening a dictionary. Leo didn't stop there. He decided to label his house. This is a classic technique, but Leo did it with a twist. He didn't just write door on the door. That is too simple. He wrote full sentences on sticky notes and put them on objects. On his mirror, he put a note that said, "You look tired but happy today." On his coffee machine, he put a note that said, "This machine makes the best coffee in the city." Every morning when he made coffee, he read that sentence out loud. He wasn't just learning the word for machine, he was learning the structure of a sentence. He was learning how to use adjectives. And because the note was right there, he didn't need willpower. He just had to open his eyes. Let's practice this idea of environmental immersion with a shadowing exercise. I want you to imagine you are walking through your own home, but everything is speaking to you in English. Close your eyes for a second if you can. Imagine looking at your front door. Now listen to me and repeat. I am opening the door to new opportunities. Say it with feeling. I am opening the door to new opportunities. Good. Now imagine walking into your kitchen. Say this. I am nourishing my body and my mind. Repeat it. I am nourishing my body and my mind. Excellent. By connecting physical objects with positive English sentences, you are anchoring the language to your reality. As Leo changed his environment, something shifted in his identity. This is the deepest level of change. In the beginning, Leo would say, I am a designer who is trying to learn English. But after 6 months, he started to say, I am an English speaker. Do you hear the difference? It is subtle, but it is powerful. When you say, I am trying, you are giving yourself permission to fail. You are saying it is a temporary experiment. But when you say, I am, you are claiming it as part of who you are. I am a reader. I am a runner. I am an English speaker. When you believe you are an English speaker, you do what English speakers do. You watch movies in English. You read news in English. You talk to people. Not because you have to study, but because that is who you are. I want you to make that shift today. Stop saying, I am a student. Start saying, I am a speaker. Let's say it together. This is a very important affirmation. Repeat after me. I am not just learning English, I am living in English. Say it loud. I am not just learning English, I am living in English. Let's do one more. I am confident in my ability to figure it out. Repeat. I am confident in my ability to figure it out. That phrase, figure it out, is key. You don't need to know everything. You just need the confidence to know you can find the answer. Leo's journey hit another bump in the road, as all journeys do. He was invited to a dinner party by his boss. There were going to be colleagues from the UK office there. Leo felt prepared. He had his habits. He had his labeled house. He felt like an English speaker. But when he got to the party, the room was loud. Music was playing. People were speaking very fast and using slang he had never heard. He tried to join a conversation, but someone told a joke, and everyone laughed except him. He felt his face get hot. He felt that old shame coming back. He went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. The voice in his head said, See? You are not good enough. You will never understand them. This happens to everyone. It is the reality of learning a language. Real life is messier than a podcast. Real life has background noise and mumbling. Leo wanted to go home. He wanted to leave the party. But then he remembered Maya's advice about the growth mindset. A fixed mindset says, I didn't understand the joke, so I am stupid. A growth mindset says, I didn't understand the joke yet. This is a chance to learn. Leo washed his face. He looked at himself in the mirror and remembered the sticky note on his own mirror at home. He took a deep breath and went back out. He walked up to the person who told the joke and said, I am sorry, I am still learning English, and I missed that. Could you explain it to me? The group stopped. Leo was terrified, but the man smiled and said, Of course! It was a pun on the word bank. He explained it slowly. Leo understood and laughed. The group didn't judge him. They respected him for asking. They respected his bravery. That night, Leo learned more than just a joke. He learned that people are generally kind. He learned that it is okay to be vulnerable. In fact, admitting you don't understand can build a stronger connection than pretending you do. Let's pause and practice a few phrases that you can use when you are stuck. These are survival phrases. They are your safety net. If you know these, you never have to be afraid of a conversation. Listen and repeat. Could you please speak a little slower? Try it. Could you please speak a little slower? Good. Here is another one. I am not sure I understand what you mean. Say it. I am not sure I understand what you mean. And the most important one. How do you say this in English? Repeat. How do you say this in English? Using these phrases shows that you are in control. It shows that you are an active participant in the conversation, not a passive victim. After the party, Leo realized he needed to upgrade his input. He needed to train his ears for messy English. So he added a new small habit. Every Saturday, he would watch an interview on YouTube with a native speaker who spoke very fast or had a strong accent. He didn't try to understand every word. He just tried to get used to the speed. He also started listening to music in English and reading the lyrics at the same time. Music is great for pronunciation because it exaggerates the sounds. It shows you how words link together. When we speak, we don't say, What do you want? We say, What do you want? Listening to songs helps you hear these connections. Leo also discovered the power of thinking time. We often think we need to be receiving information to learn. But your brain also needs time to process information. Leo started taking a 15-minute walk every evening without his phone. No podcasts, no music, just silence. During this walk, he would try to replay his day in English. He would have a conversation with himself. Today was busy. I had a lot of work. For lunch, I had a salad. It was delicious. This is called output practice. You are retrieving the words from your memory. It is harder than listening, but it is very effective. It forces your brain to build sentences. I want to challenge you to try this. You don't need to go for a walk. You can do it right now, in your head. Think about what you did yesterday. Pick 3 events. Maybe you woke up, you went to work, you cooked dinner. Now, narrate that story in your head in English. Keep it simple. I woke up at 7. I drank water. I drove my car. Do this for just 1 minute. This small habit of thinking in English is what bridges the gap between understanding and speaking. If you can think it, you can speak it. As the months turned into a year, Leo looked back at who he was. He was different. He wasn't just better at English. He was more disciplined. He was more confident. The habit of learning English had spilled over into other areas of his life. Because he knew he could stick to his English habit, he started going to the gym. He started eating better. He realized that if he could train his brain, he could train his body too. This is the hidden benefit of learning a language. It teaches you how to learn. It teaches you patience. It teaches you humility. One day, Leo received an email. It was from the organizers of a design conference in Berlin. They had seen his work online and wanted him to give a 20-minute presentation. In English. The old Leo would have deleted the email immediately. The old Leo would have been too scared. But the new Leo, the Leo who lived in English, the Leo who had survived the dip, looked at the email and felt a spark of excitement. He was still nervous, of course. Fear never goes away completely. But his relationship with fear had changed. He saw fear as a compass. It showed him where he needed to go. He accepted the invitation. Preparing for the speech was a new challenge. He had to write a script. He had to practice pronunciation. He used all his tools. He shadowed famous speakers to learn how to use his voice. He recorded himself and listened back to find his mistakes. This is a painful exercise. Nobody likes the sound of their own voice, but it is the fastest way to improve. You hear things on the recording that you don't hear when you are speaking. You hear if you are saying too much. You hear if your intonation is flat. Leo recorded his speech 10 times, 20 times, 50 times. Each time, he got a little better. Let's practice some presentation skills right now. Even if you never give a speech, these skills help in daily conversation. We are going to practice stressing the important words. In English, the meaning changes depending on which word you stress. Listen to this sentence. I didn't say he stole the money. Now, listen to how the meaning changes if I stress I. I didn't say he stole the money implies someone else said it. Now, stress he. I didn't say he stole the money implies someone else stole it. Now, stress money. I didn't say he stole the money implies he stole something else. Try it with me. We will use the sentence, I really love learning English. First, stress I. I really love learning English. It means me, not you. Now stress really. I really love learning English. It emphasizes the truth of the feeling. Now stress love. I really love learning English. It focuses on the emotion. Now stress English. I really love learning English. It distinguishes it from French or Spanish. This is how you paint with your voice. You use stress to highlight your meaning. When you listen to podcasts, try to notice which words the speaker is stressing. It will help you understand their emotion and their point of view. Leo flew to Berlin. He walked onto the stage. The lights were bright. He couldn't see the audience very well, which was actually a relief. He stood behind the microphone. He took a deep breath, just like he practiced. He started his speech. Hello, everyone. My name is Leo, and I am a graphic designer. His voice didn't shake. He remembered his affirmations. My voice is strong and clear. He moved through his slides. He explained his process. He told stories. At one point, he forgot a word. His mind went blank. The silence lasted for 2 seconds. It felt like 2 hours. But he didn't panic. He used a survival phrase. I can't remember the exact word, but it is like... And he explained it another way. The audience nodded. They understood. They were there for his ideas, not his grammar. When he finished, there was applause. Real applause. People came up to him afterwards. They didn't say, "Your English is good." They said, "Your designs are amazing." They said, "That idea about color theory was brilliant." Leo realized something profound. English was not the goal. English was the bridge. The goal was connection. The goal was sharing his talent with the world. English was just the vehicle that carried his ideas from his brain to theirs. He had spent so much time worrying about the vehicle that he forgot about the passengers. This is what I want for you. I want you to stop obsessing over being perfect. I want you to focus on connecting. Use the English you have today. Do not wait for the English you will have tomorrow. If you know 10 words, use those 10 words. If you know 1,000, use 1,000. The world needs your voice. The world needs your stories. Do not let grammar hold you back. Do not let the fear of a mistake silence you. A broken sentence is better than a silent genius. Now, as we continue this deep dive, I want to address the concept of social friction. This is when the people around you don't support your new habits. Maybe your friends make fun of you for trying to speak English. Maybe your family complains that you are always listening to podcasts. This happened to Leo too. His friends would say, "Why are you working so hard? Relax with us." It is hard to say no to people we love, but you have to remember that they are not seeing your vision. They don't see the mountain you are climbing. You have to protect your habit. You can do this by finding a language parent or a community. This doesn't have to be your real parent. It is someone who supports your growth. For Leo, it was Maya. For you, it might be this channel. It might be an online group. You need to surround yourself with people who normalize the struggle. People who say, "Yes, it is hard, but keep going." If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. You want to be around people who are ahead of you so they can pull you up. Let's do a visualization exercise to strengthen your resolve against social friction. Close your eyes. Imagine you are surrounded by a bubble of light. This is your focus bubble. Outside the bubble, there are people talking, distractions, and doubts. But inside the bubble, it is calm. Inside the bubble, there is just you and your English. When someone makes a negative comment, imagine it hitting the bubble and bouncing off. It cannot touch you. You are safe inside your purpose. Open your eyes. You have to carry this bubble with you. When the world gets loud, retreat into your bubble. Put on your headphones. Open your book. That is your sanctuary. We also need to talk about the concept of deep practice versus shallow practice. Shallow practice is doing what is easy. It is listening to a podcast while you are scrolling on Instagram. You are only half listening. Deep practice is when you give 100% of your attention. It is when you struggle. It is when you stop the audio, rewind it, write down a word, look it up, and say it 5 times. Leo found that he needed a balance. He couldn't do deep practice for 2 hours. It was too exhausting. So he used the 80-20 rule. 80% of his time was passive listening, washing dishes, walking, commuting. This kept the flow going. But 20% of his time was deep, focused practice. This usually happened on Sunday mornings. He would sit down with a cup of coffee and analyze a short video script or a news article. He would dissect it like a scientist. He would ask, why did they use the present perfect tense here? Why did they choose this word instead of that one? This deep work is what pushes you up the steep hills. The passive work is what keeps you moving on the flat roads. You need both. Leo's story is a testament to the power of accumulation. A drop of water is nothing, but 1,000,000 drops make an ocean. A single brick is useless, but 1,000 bricks make a house. Your daily listening, your shadowing, your sticky notes, these are your bricks. You are building a house of fluency. It takes time. You cannot rush it. But if you keep laying bricks, one day you will step back and realize you have built a mansion. You will realize that you can live inside this new language comfortably. Now, we have traveled a long way with Leo. We watched him struggle with his fear. We saw him build small habits. We saw him change his environment, and we saw him stand on a stage in Berlin. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, fluency is a story that never truly ends. We need to talk about the final shift, moving from a learner to a master, and how to keep your English alive forever without it feeling like work. A few years after his Berlin speech, Leo was a senior designer. He was comfortable. He spoke English every day at work. But he noticed something interesting. A new intern named Matteo had joined the company. Matteo was young, talented, and very shy about his English. He reminded Leo of his younger self. Leo saw Matteo sitting alone at lunch, afraid to join the conversation. Leo decided to sit with him. He didn't just speak to Matteo, he started to mentor him. He explained design concepts in simple English. He helped Matteo practice his presentations. This is the teacher effect. The best way to learn something deeply is to teach it to someone else. When Leo explained a concept to Matteo, he had to organize his thoughts clearly. He had to find the right words. This strengthened his own English more than any textbook could. You do not need to be a professor to teach. You can help a friend who knows less than you. You can write comments on YouTube videos helping other learners. When you give back, you receive twice as much in return. I want you to look for an opportunity this week to help someone else with their English. It could be a simple, encouraging word. When you lift others up, you rise with them. Leo also realized that being fluent wasn't just about vocabulary. It was about cultural empathy. He learned that in some cultures, being direct is good, while in others, you need to be softer. He learned that English is not just one language. It is a collection of cultures. He started listening to podcasts from Australia, from South Africa, from Ireland. He fell in love with the diversity of the accents. He stopped getting frustrated when he didn't understand a slang word. Instead, he got curious. He would ask, "What does that mean?" And he would learn a new piece of the world. This made him a better global citizen. This leads us to the forever maintenance phase. Many people ask me, "Alex, when can I stop studying?" The answer is, you stop studying when you start living. You don't study your native language, do you? But you still learn new words in it. You still read books. You still watch the news. English must become the same. It must become the water you swim in. Leo didn't have English time anymore. He just had his life. He read the news in English because he wanted to know what was happening in the world. He watched movies in English because he loved the actors. The line between learning and living had disappeared. To reach this stage, you need to protect your joy. If a book is boring, close it. If a podcast is annoying, turn it off. You are the boss of your learning. You must associate English with pleasure. If you associate English with pain, your brain will avoid it. Your brain is designed to avoid pain. So, make it fun. Play video games in English. Cook recipes from English blogs. Follow comedians on social media. Laughter is a universal language, but laughing in English is a special kind of victory. Let's do a final, powerful visualization to cement your future self. I want you to be in a quiet place for this. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. I want you to imagine a timeline. Look back at the past. See yourself struggling. See the frustration. Now, look at where you are now. You are building habits. Now, look forward. I want you to see yourself 5 years from now. You are sitting in a cafe in a beautiful city. Maybe it's London, maybe it's New York, or maybe it's your own city. You are chatting with a group of friends from all over the world. You are laughing. You are not translating in your head. The words are just flowing like a river. You feel light. You feel free. Capture that feeling. That feeling is your destination. Open your eyes. That future is real. It is waiting for you to walk towards it. We have covered so many techniques: shadowing, the 5-minute rule, dead time, environmental design, the success journal. But if you forget all of them, please remember just one thing: belief. You must believe that you are capable of change. The brain is plastic. It can be molded. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how many times you have failed before. The past does not equal the future. Every time you listen to a sentence, you are rewriting your brain's software. You are building a new you. I want to leave you with a final challenge. It is the 21-day habit challenge. Scientists say it takes about 21 days to form a new habit. I want you to commit to just one small English habit for the next 21 days. Pick something small. Maybe it is listening to this channel for 10 minutes every morning. Maybe it is reading one news headline. Just one thing. Do not break the chain. If you can do it for 21 days, you will prove to yourself that you are disciplined. And once you have the discipline, the fluency is guaranteed. It is just a matter of time. Leo is now an art director. He travels the world. He speaks 3 languages. But he still remembers the days when he was afraid to order a coffee. He keeps a small note in his wallet. It says, "Small habits make a big difference." He looks at it whenever he feels overwhelmed. He knows that the mountain is climbed one step at a time. You are standing at the bottom of your mountain. But you have good shoes. You have a map. And you have a guide. I am here to guide you. This community is here to support you. Thank you for listening to this long, deep session. Thank you for dedicating this time to your personal growth. It has been an honor to speak to you. I hope Leo's story stays with you. I hope you see the dead time in your day not as wasted time, but as golden opportunities. I hope you look at your dirty dishes and see a chance to learn. If this script, if this story, if these techniques have touched you, I have a small request. Please subscribe to English in Fluency. By subscribing, you are telling the algorithm that you want more content like this. You are telling yourself that you are a serious learner. And please, hit the like button. It helps us reach more people like Leo, people who are stuck and need a little hope. I also want to hear from you in the comments. This is your final homework. I want you to write a comment below that says, "I am ready for the 21-day challenge." And if you are brave, tell me what your habit will be. Will you listen? Will you read? Will you shadow? Declare it publicly. When you write it down, you make a contract with yourself. Read the comments of others and encourage them. Let's build the most supportive community on the internet. You are amazing. You are capable. You are on your way. Do not stop now. The world is waiting to hear your voice. I am Alex, and this has been English in Fluency. Keep training your brain, keep trusting the process, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Goodbye.